We got Steve in Audubon.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. Stoked to be on the air fine with you guys. Been trying to call in for a few weeks now.
Okay, well, you made it.
I told him to start kicking off all the atheists so that we could get more theists in.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question here, Matt. This is back from YouTube. It's you were having a debate with a guy by the name of Matt Slick, the tag debate. Now, I don't want to rehash any of that stuff because it's BS. but the one thing I did want to ask you about was when he brought up the fact that the logical absolutes were non-material.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I just thought that was a little hole in your materialism. If it's not, you go ahead and prove me wrong. I'm looking forward to it. I have one other question if we get to it about the Trinity, but
I have no idea what you're actually asking.
Oh, really?
Well, you say the fact that they're non-material is a hole in materialism? No. The debate as it went was he set it up that there was the things either are material or He set up a dichotomy that everything is.
Yeah, it's a false dichotomy. Exactly.
Hang on. He set up a dichotomy that everything is either physical or conceptual, and I said no, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted an example.
Right.
And I faltered around for a little while, and we settled on. Well, I'm not even exactly sure where we settled on that because there was more of this that happened after the show. But he claimed and asserted that there was a true dichotomy. Everything is either physical or conceptual.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. And then he wanted me to ask me which one the logical absolutes were. And I correctly said neither. And when he asked me what they were, I didn't have a label for it. The correct label would have been transcendent under the definitions we were using, and it was right there in the head of the argument. The interesting thing is that if that's a true dichotomy, physical, conceptual, then where does his God fit? And Matt Slick was asked this question on his forum by a fan of the show after this debate was over. You know what his answer was?
What?
Neither.
Right.
Okay, that is the big I lose response.
Yeah, one of the big frustrations
it's not big enough to admit that he was wrong.
With Matt Slick was he was very good at switching sides several times during the argument and trying to run Matt around, and that was very, very frustrating from an audience standpoint. I'm sure Matt was very frustrated too.
I loved it.
But I tangled with this Matt Slick guy the week before, and we got hung up on some other things. But
yeah, I mean, if you say that physical and conceptual is a true dichotomy, and then object when I say no, it's not, and when you ask me something, I say my response is neither. How can you say neither? And then the next week you're asked about which category your God fits in, and you say neither. You lost. You don't get to run around for claiming that you won.
It's dishonest.
Despite the fact that that's
very dishonest. Yeah. So what was your other question? Let's move on from the boring philosophical stuff.
Nobody likes Tag but me and Slick.
No one likes that. No one likes that Slick guy either.
No,
I like Tag.
I don't like him.
But. Go ahead.
All right. My other question for you guys about your topic, the Holy Trinity. I'm coming from a Catholic background, charismatic renewal type people, and the thing that they always try to pass off to get around a lot of the logical problems with the concept was that it's beyond our human comprehension. I missed the beginning part of the show, so if you already covered that, I apologize. But how do you argue against something like that for friends of mine who are still into this thing, and we have conversations now?
If it's beyond their comprehension, how the heck can they say anything about it?
That's pretty straightforward.
Right. Why have church?
By what justification?
What are you collecting money for?
Yeah. What is their justification for claiming that this is a God or Holy Spirit if they don't understand it, if it's beyond their ken? You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't claim that you have this personal relationship with the deity and then claim that it's beyond your comprehension.
Yeah.
There's about 10 different ways to say it.
They like to trot that out for atheists, right? Because atheists will say, well, if you're they'll call people on. They're making all these claims about God does this, God does that, God feels this, God says this, right? And then atheists say, well, that doesn't make sense, or what does God say about that? Given that He said these other things. Then they come out and flip it around and say, oh, well, you can't possibly understand. You're too stupid. So it's like Matt says, it's like having your cake and eating it too, right? You can't, on the one hand, make all these claims about God, and then on the other hand say He's incomprehensible, right? Those two are incompatible.
That sounds pretty straightforward. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's the things that they always go in that story about Augustine and the little kid on the beach turns out to be Jesus, and he's trying to fill the ocean with this holy man in the sand. He's like, how do you expect to understand the Trinity? You know that story.
Oh.
Hear that one?
I haven't heard that one, but it sounds like a cheesy thing.
See, I was.
Guys, thanks a lot for everything you do, and you guys take care.
Sure, thanks,
Okay,
Steve.
thanks.
I was raised Baptist, so, and although there were Catholics in the family, but it wasn't until I actually went to my first funeral or Catholic funeral or mass that it really hit me. If you're a Catholic, I have a special task for you. Next time you're at mass for whatever, I don't know, it may not happen as often as normal masses, but certainly seem to happen at funerals. Count the number of times that the word mystery is used. Just do it. Count the number of times mystery is used, because that to me was overwhelming. The great mystery of this and the great mystery of this, and God in your infinite mystery and your mystery and your mystery, and you're so mysterious. Well, congratulations. You basically just said, we don't have a clue what's going on. We're not really sure why this is going on, and we're not willing to admit that we don't know why we feel justified in asserting that there is a God. But you can't solve a mystery with a mystery. You cannot answer the big questions.
Well,
by
if you're trying to run people around looking for cheese, mice in a rat's maze looking for cheese, maybe that works, right? Well, because you're moving the cheese all the time.
Yes,
but if you're trying to explain the universe, adding mysteries is not helpful.
Yeah, right? you haven't actually presented an explanation, because when we explain things, we take something that we don't understand, and we increase our understanding of it by addressing and comparing it to and making use of things that we do understand. In most cases, that's how we gain understanding. We learn a little something about this, and we learn a little something about this, and we learn a little something about this, and then we figure out how those things work together to learn something about this. We have not increased our understanding. If your answer, it's not an answer, it's a response to why is this way, it's a mystery. And it's no better if you say, God did it. Those two answers are equivalent in their explanatory power. Magic Man done it, God done it, Universal Creative Pixies did it, it's a mystery. None of those have any more explanatory power than the other. There is an answer, though, that you can substitute in there, or a response that you can substitute in there that's much better, and that is, I don't know, but let's find out. Because these answers prevent you from actually going out and finding out. You think you've already known. Oh, where did the universe come from? God did it. Done.
Yeah,
got it done before breakfast.
The discomfort of not knowing is what impels us to go out and find the answer, right? It's that discomfort that drives innovation in science and exploration, and that discomfort is the thing that gives us what the treasures that we have gained from science and technology.
Absolutely.
So by shutting that off, you're just throwing that all away.
Yeah, that's what we focus on a lot at Camp Quest. Don't ever accept an answer just because. Always question and ask why. And I think those are excellent
those are
points.
Themes to live by.
It's the type of stuff that we should be teaching everybody everywhere. People, they're like, oh, do you favor the teaching of Bible in schools? Yeah, actually, I do.
Absolutely. Why not?
I'm in favor of it. I don't necessarily think that we need to go adding classes on it right now, because it's more of an I don't object. And I think there is some potential benefit. I think there's more of a benefit from teaching like comparative religion courses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a huge proponent of comparative religion because religion, whether we want to admit it or not, has played a huge, huge part in society and the forming of nations and forming of communities and society. You can't study history without studying religions. I think the biggest thing with the SBOE and why we were all at the rally today was because they're choosing to exclude, 80-90% of the population of people in history, and that's not okay. We have to talk about them all if we're going to talk about one.
Absolutely.